Hello and welcome to a new episode of Conversations with Ramon, where we'll talk about everything lifestyle and travel. Today, we're going to talk about when I knew travel would become a big part of my life. To start, it's important to know I never traveled with my family growing up. It just wasn't something we were able to do for a variety of reasons. Because of that, I never understood the power of travel or what it could do for you. As I mentioned in my last video, I started traveling in early high school through an after-school program. The program would take us to summer camps around Minnesota. That was my first small taste of travel. When I graduated high school, I took a job in San Francisco, and that felt like the start of something new. I eventually moved back home and went from job to job, trying to figure out what my life was supposed to look like. At the end of 2019, I finally got hired at a company that I'd been trying to join for many years, one that allowed travel. Then, in early 2020, I booked my first true solo trip to Utah to visit Zion National Park. And at that point in my life, things were hard. Mentally, I was struggling. I didn't know where my life was headed, and I was experiencing depression for the first time. So I landed in Utah, rented a car, and drove to Zion. I got to my hotel late that night, so I couldn't see anything around me. I remember thinking, this is probably a bad idea. I don't do things like this. What the hell am I doing here? I had never done a major hike before, but I knew I wanted to challenge myself. After all the research I did, Angel's Landing was a hike everyone talked about, so I went for it. I completely underestimated it. After a few hours, I finally made it to the top. I sat there for over 2 hours, just taking it all in. My mom passed away when I was in high school, and as I looked out at that view, all I could think about was her. It felt like the universe was saying, it's okay. I knew in that moment that I wanted to keep exploring places like this, because it was a place like this that made me feel this way. But the craziest part happened after. When I hiked back down, I was starving, so I went to a restaurant right outside the park. As I sat there waiting for my food, I noticed a woman who looked very familiar. I kept glancing over, trying to figure out if I knew who she was. I walked over and asked, "Is your name, and were you a mentor in Minneapolis at an after-school program about 10 years ago?" "Yes, why?" I said, "You probably don't remember me. The last time you saw me, I was just a little kid, but my name is Ramon, and you were one of my favorite mentors." We both teared up. We hugged, we talked for a long time, and we reminisced about old memories. I walked back to my car, and I just sat there. In a small town outside of a national park, I had just run into a mentor that helped shape who I am today. It felt like the universe was saying, you are right where you are supposed to be. That's when I promised myself I would always prioritize travel. So, that's the story. Make sure to follow for more conversations with Ramon, and I'll see you in the next episode.